Brain dumping and being neurodivergent can instantly lead to a freeze and overwhelm depending on a few factors. Today I want to share with you a few ways that I have found that personally work for me and a lot of my clients to be able to get the things out of your brain and onto paper into manageable steps. Hey, I'm Carolee, and I'm a productivity strategist for neurodivergent entrepreneurs for your business and your life because they are constantly intertwined. You may be asking what a brain dump even is. This was actually a foreign concept to me until I became an entrepreneur. No one really called it brain dumping before. It's not that I was aware of. But a brain dump is when you take all the tasks, projects, all the things that are rolling around in your brain and you get them on paper into a list form ordinarily. So today we're going to start with how you even process information. Do you process it more verbally? Or do you process it more visually? Or you could be a combination of the two, like me. So we're going to start with the more commonly used processor, which is a visual processor. This is normally how brain dumping is talked about for a visual processor. And so if this doesn't work for you, don't worry, I have a hack for you too. So if you're a visual processor, when someone says you need to brain dump, that means you're able to take all the things out of your brain and put them on paper, and you're simply able to write them down, no problem. Maybe a little problem, but in general, it works for you. You're able to visually see what you're writing. You're able to take it out of your brain and write it down on the paper, like I said, in a list form. And I am going to remind you here that it doesn't have to be remotely organized. The whole point of a brain dump is not to have it organized. We are doing one step at a time, and that is simply taking what's in our brain and putting it on paper. So if you're saying, yeah, Carolee, that's great, but that doesn't work for me. I literally struggled to get it out of my brain and onto the paper. Okay, you said that there's something for me. I want you to try this. You're probably a verbal processor. You process by hearing and then doing. But at times, you probably also struggle with just all the things getting it out of your brain without, you probably talk it out. That's why I say I'm a combination of the two. Because I can process visually, just take it on my brain and put it on paper. But there are times where I'm I feel like I don't even really know what's in my brain. I just want to talk gibberish out. If you're the talk gibberish out, I have fun hacks for you because this has been a game changer for me, especially when I'm struggling to formulate all of the ideas and all the things and get them on the paper. So I want you to download a recording app on your phone. Okay, that's step one. If you struggle to get it out of your brain and onto paper, download the recording app. After you've downloaded a recording app, we're going to open it and we are going to press record and we're just going to start talking. Could be 5 minutes, could be a minute, could be 10 minutes, could be 20 minutes. Just talk it out. Talk about all the things that are on your mind. Don't worry about a list form. Don't worry about it. This is literally like conversation. And so I've had some people well, I feel weird talking to my phone. All right, here's the tack for that. Go talk to someone. I talk to my husband and I pop open my recording app and I just record it. Record the conversation. You're essentially brain dumping verbally. And if you feel weird just talking to your phone, like I am right now recording this, I get it. But just pop it open while you're talking a conversation to someone. Brain dump with someone. Now, some of you might be able to literally just press play after you're done recording this and be able to listen and write it down. We are absolutely fantastic at learning verbally, ordinarily, auditory learning, right? Because when we hear things, we're able to write things down. We're able to take notes. We're able to listen to it multiple times. And we're able to absorb what we're listening to, right? So in this case, you might be able to stay right here and just press play on your recording and brain dump that way. If that is still a struggle, you're yeah, I'm talking too fast, or it's all over the place, all right? But you still are more of a visual, but you're not a verbal processor, but you're visually, okay? All these things, all right? Just try this one out. You can transcribe your recording. So now you're listening to it, you're reading it, and now you're able to brain dump it. Of course, pause as needed. So you can use a transcription service. The one I personally use is otter.ai, and there is a free version. As long as you're not going crazy with all these recordings, you wouldn't have to pay for it. You have 600 hours for free. All right, so that's pretty awesome. And so how I end up doing this is because you can't upload audio files, you can only do 3 in the free version, but you can record up to 600 hours in real time. So what I do is I press transcribe on otter.ai and I press play on my recording on my phone and I stick it up to the speaker on my laptop and I just let it play. So not only am I hearing it play again, I'm also reading it as it goes across the screen. You see how many times we need to see something in order to get it, right? It's just how we learn. So figure out which steps of this you need to do in order to get it on the paper. Yes, there's extra steps here, but how many steps were you taking before? Or were you just not doing it? This doesn't have to take long as soon as you get to, how you work. And as soon as you get that process down, that system down, to be able to know how you brain dump. The whole goal of brain dumping is to get all the things out of your brain and onto the paper so you can make a list. That's the goal of brain dumping. It eases your mind. What we do when we don't brain dump is we try to keep everything in our brain. And when we try to keep everything in our brain, it doesn't allow us to remember all the things because there's a lot going on in there. So we really do need to have something working as our second brain, or at least a list working as our second brain. I use a task management system to work as my second brain, right? Because I need that. I need organization. I'm a systems person, and I help you be a systems person. At least use the systems, not necessarily create them, because creating systems is a long, long process. But if you need help with that, I am here. So you might be asking, well, great, I have a hot mess of things on this piece of paper. Now what? Yay, it's out of my brain, but I still can't do anything with it. All right, I feel you. I get it. There is more hacks. This video is full of them. So now that we have our list on the paper, we're going to organize it by putting like tasks together. So essentially you're going to have one piece of paper that has the task in gibberish order. It doesn't make any sense. Just whatever happened in your brain, and that's the order it went in. And then you'll have another piece of paper that has it categorized, like admin tasks, projects, whatever categories it looks like for you, your business, and your personal life, okay? So I always organize this, since we're entrepreneurs, is we need to figure out what are the most needle moving things on that list. And we're going to focus on those first. I want you to star them, highlight them. We want to make sure that those things are grouped together. And essentially what these are, needle moving steps, is something that will move you closer to bringing in income or continuing to bring in income. So don't forget the step of starring or highlighting those. Okay, we want those to stick out because those are the things that are going to ultimately bring in more income. Next, we don't want to, maybe some of these things on this list aren't really income producing. They're not needle moving in that respect, but they are still needle moving in the respect that they are necessities. They absolutely have to be done in order to survive, in order to, grow your business, whatever that is. Okay. So now we're going to say, put a heart or a different color highlighter, a different shape than a star from our first one. And we're going to denote these as necessities. These are things that absolutely have to be done no matter what. So these could be things like admin tasks, it could be lead generation tasks, it could be your marketing tasks. Now some of these are obviously might be grouped in the needle moving, the income producing tasks, but some of them might not be. Okay, like admin, they're necessities, but doesn't necessarily mean that if I do the admin it brings in the income, in a long scheme of things anyway. And then your last step here, in order to organize this hot gibberish mess that's hopefully once you group things together we're looking a lot better, is we need to prioritize the tasks. And now you just have simply shut down and froze because prioritizing is so hard. I'm really, really lucky. And one of my strengths is actually prioritizing, breaking things down into manageable steps. That's what makes me a great productivity strategist, because I get to take a bunch of pieces from your life, your business, and all the things, and we get to put them together and we get to figure out, what is the priority without all the other noise. It's one of my specialties. It's what I love to do with my clients and in my own life and business. And if you're like, okay, great, now what? I have this hot mess of a list. It's organized, it's simpler, I've got this going on, but now I'm gonna lose this piece of paper. Let's just be real. Who loses the pieces of paper? That's me too. So I actually moved to a completely online base. So I use a task management system, and I use essentially a cloud of sorts. Everything with my notes and my tasks and all of that, my planner, is all online, because then I can access it on multiple devices. I don't have to worry about losing it. As long as I can log in on any device, we're good to go. If you want to learn more about that, I actually did a masterclass on this that covers what we just talked about today, but more in depth with a lot of things. And then also how you use the task management system in the planner to be able to organize your whole life, including that brain dump list. Okay, and so if you want to learn about that, the link is in the description of this video, and it's called Transform Your Stress List into Something Motivating. So we even talk about in there how to create that list of tasks that you have to do in order to run your business and your life, and how to make it more motivating, because as neurodivergent entrepreneurs, we need to have things be more motivating. So make sure you grab that free masterclass in the description and go ahead and watch it, absorb all the goodies, just have that brain dump list, and just be able to learn how to put it into a task management system. All of my hacks around that as well. So to learn how to use some task management systems in my planner that I suggest, I currently use a few different things, but I ultimately use Sunsama, and there's actually a video that's linked below about Sunsama as my let's take all the things and put it into this one. That's my planner I use. And so if you want to learn more about that, you can go ahead and grab that in the description as well. All right, that's all for today. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other productivity magic, as I drop one new video every single week just for you as a neurodivergent entrepreneur to get more productive in your business or your personal life.